Energon was the first show I watched from beginning to end when I was little, and while it's a show that's looked down by a lot, including me, I still like it because of that. Ironhide here was a toy I've wanted since the show came out. It just based on its size alone. Thanks to my buddy Nick for this figure. His channel will be linked below. Nick, start uploading videos. Ironhide here looks weird, like really weird. It's a very strange Ironhide design, more strange than the movie one, I'd say. He really wears his alt mode. Like, it's just all hanging out there, but the kibble placement is pretty good, actually. I like the big wing flaps and the shins. I just wish the shins weren't massive. The colors are interesting. You got red, blue, which always go well together, a bit of white, and then dog poo brown. I don't like the brown. It just doesn't work with the rest of these colors for me. It looks very, very weird. He also has this big radar dish thingy on his head. That's a huge growth. The paintwork on the silver feels pretty knockoffy on that, like, growth. Like, it was brand new out of the box, so there's no former paint chipping, and that's just how mine looked out of the box. It looks like one of those knockoffs you'd get from Dollarama, just quickly painted. He is a very chunky Autobot, and that really does hinder the posing. I can't seem to get him into any sort of decent poses because of how chunky his limbs are. So I know people who are obsessed with posing, you might not like that part. He does have lights and sounds. When you move the head, he makes the most annoying thing I've ever heard in my life. And when he fires his guns, he also makes noises. Those features, while annoying, are cool to see on something that's of this price back in the day. As I mentioned earlier, I wanted this because of its sheer size, and it was my main draw when I was like a kid. And yeah, this thing's a big toy. You get a lot of plastic here, and it's pretty heavy, but that's also because it's a quad changer. Posing is He has some posing in him, but a lot of it is useless. Unless you want to take some close-up shots, it doesn't really work. The figure has below the knee swivels, so the leg movement is even more limited then, and surprisingly, he doesn't have a lot of satisfying ratchets for a Unicron Trilogy toy. I was expecting it to be very clicky, but it's more thoopy. He's also a hotshot simp, so he was annoying in the show. Transformation into truck mode is very, very easy. You literally just compress the legs and fold up the arms on the back and wrap those panels around it, and you're left with a Tonka truck. This is a Mitsubishi Montanero, I believe, but its proportions are very different and it looks funky. According to the wiki, this figure was a huge shelf warmer back in the day, even staying on shelves till like 2006. This truck is one chunky ass brick of plastic on wheels. It feels hefty and solid even if there are no tabs holding the front of the truck in place. It's strong enough to just keep it there by itself. I do appreciate the white trim and the silver rims. I think they look really cool and help keep this alt mode from being boring because it doesn't have a lot in the way of sculpted details, especially on the front. There's a lot of flat, uninteresting panels, but the paintwork does help keep it from looking boring. Oh, and here's him poothing. This is intentional, by the way. He does this in the show and speaks like this, so it's very funny. All the lights and sounds still work in this mode. He can fire his missiles, but there isn't much else really to say about the alt mode. It's not bad, it's just nothing special. But what's special are the other two modes. No deluxe or mega sized Energon toys play pattern is complete without another deluxe or mega. Energon's thing was all about combination, and you have shirt and pants mode for almost all of their deluxe and mega sized toys. We will get into shirt mode because this is my least favorite of the bunch, and it's a very simple conversion, basically rotating the legs around and splitting the toy in half to create mostly arms. He has a lot less junk hanging off the back than pants mode, and you'll see how bad that is in a little bit. But this mode, he looks alright. The arms are just most of it, and the body is just like, he's just got these Popeye proportions. I don't have any other Mega Class toys to combine him with, so you're stuck with Deluxe Hotshot, but he looks alright. Articulation is still poop, so onto the pants mode. This conversion, you're basically stretching him out, folding a bunch of panels around, and it's a lot more involved and feels like you're accomplishing more with the toy when you get into this mode. Look at this lanky idiot. I hope you enjoy the entire top half just hanging off the back. But if you don't, like, then you can always just do this and oh my god, that's precious. This mode I like more because with a Mega Class toy it looks great, but with a Deluxe it doesn't look quite right. Because I mean, you know, one's smaller, it looks a bit off. It looks like an old dude had just hiked his pants all the way up. I love it. It's the reason I like it more, because of how funny it is. But that's the fun of Energon toys, and why it's still fun to mess with. Sure, it's not the best looking thing in the world. I mean, look at this. And I wouldn't pay more than $40 in today's money, but it's still neat. And if you're a Unicron Trilogy fan, then I'd say definitely get one, especially if you're an Energon like toy fan. Energon's show, not so great. Energon's toys, though, were really cool. And while this is not the greatest thing they've ever made, this is still pretty fun and pretty neat. And I feel like if you have someone like Jetfire, you kind of need an Ironhide because, you know, the play pattern. But that's been my look at Energon Ironhide. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.